From Studio A at Telecare, cooking up Italian style. Delicious rigatoni with carbonara sauce and fresh pappardelle with roasted eggplant, ricotta salad, and pine nuts. Incredible recipes from amazing chef Roland Iadanza of Great Eastern Pasta Works today on Real Food. Hello, I'm Father Jim Vlon, and welcome to Real Food. You know, in recent times, life's become so hectic that family and meal times have unfortunately been placed on the back burner. And that's why our show, Real Food, is so important. Here we bring you not only some fabulous new recipes, but we remind you that throughout the Bible and in our own lives, meals are moments when God breaks into the ordinary and makes himself known. Our show is about the importance of the meal and how those who prepare it help us to encounter God. Our guest chef today grew up in an Italian household like me, and this fostered an interest in food at a very early age. After an education in culinary arts at Johnson & Wales, he went on to work in several restaurants, including the world-renowned Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Manhattan. And throughout his illustrious career, he's won numerous awards from the American Culinary Federation, including Chef of the Year in 2004, the President's Award in 2003, and the Chef Professional in 2003, to name a few. And it brings me great pleasure to have him here with us on Real Food today, Executive Chef Roland Iadanza from Great Eastern Pasta Works in Lindenhurst. Welcome.
Hi, Father.
So great to have you here. Now, we bumped into each other the first time at Christ the King in Comac, right?
Right. I came to one of your retreats. It was fabulous, and we want you back.
Oh, definitely. We'll come back. Now, this is like a hidden jewel, your place. I mean, I can't get over the kind of stuff that you're doing there. Tell just briefly what you do. I mean, you brought some examples, right?
You know, I've been a chef in restaurants my whole career, but 5 years ago, I decided to join the pasta company. It's called Pasta People, known as Great Eastern Pasta Works. And I always had the love for it. And 5 years now, July already, that I'm with him, and we make unique pasta and ravioli for restaurants, country clubs, assisted livings, hotels. It's a lot of fun.
People can walk in off the street if they want.
They do.
Right?
It's very, very informal.
Good.
And like I said, we plug in the register when they walk in, and they come in and get whatever they want.
Show us some of the stuff you brought today, some examples.
Well, yes, like right here is a mezzaluna, which is a half moon. That's what we call that carbonara, sort of like what I'm going to be doing
and what's
today.
What's it stuffed with?
That's pancetta and roast garlic. The striping, all done by hand, spinach and cheese.
Wow.
Roasted pepper mozzarella with a tomato pasta.
Wow. Just
a simple square, cheese right there.
Right.
These are big agnolottis, big half moons.
Agnolotti, unbelievable.
Okay. Agnolotti actually means the priest's hat.
Really?
Or a hat. When you fold that, can you see that if that was folded?
Oh, the mitre, like, right, yes, okay.
And then something totally new, cimbella, which in Italian means donut. The idea is to put an ingredient in the middle.
Wow.
And something totally different.
I'm quite at home in this
And then these
world.
are the hand-rolled tortellonis. They're filled with shrimp and asparagus, lobster and shrimp.
Now, we've had tortellini because that's a little guy.
These
this is
very
like
big.
the granddaddy.
You see the size of those.
And like that's pretty big. Even I could not have a whole big bowl of those, I don't think, I have to say.
Usually you serve 3 for a main course like that.
Now, what are we going to make today?
Today we're going to start with a sort of like a warm pasta salad, if you will. We're using fresh pappardelle.
Now, pappardelle happens to be one of my favorites. Explain what pappardelle is.
Well, pappardelle, really, I was doing some research on it. In Italian, papadi means to eat or to gobble up, which is a great meaning for this because this is what we normally do with pasta. But sometimes pappardelle has a straight cut. But this is the true pappardelle because the ridge, like lasagna type edge on there.
Yes, but it's smaller than lasagna, of course, more narrow. And
so
you make that all at your place?
That's all freshly made at Pasta People. And just to explain, this is semolina.
Yes.
And it's a little bit more coarse. And then we have durum. Now, the difference here is semolina we use to make fresh pasta. Durum is more delicate and soft, if you could see, if you want to touch that.
Yes, it's powdery
we use
almost,
that to make the ravioli, because we want the ravioli to be more tender. But with the fresh pasta, semolina, so it cooks al dente, which means nice and firm, or literally to the tooth.
Sure.
So today we're going to just do a simple toss. Now, this can be improvised, whatever in the refrigerator you could use. So far, start putting all this, this is grilled eggplant,
okay, so we have
which in the recipe it's roasted eggplant. You can start putting all of these items in except the basil.
Okay, tell us this. This is?
Okay, that is a little roasted pepper.
Okay.
I added that to the, that's what I mean by improvisation.
So you could do a little bit of your own, right?
And you have artichokes, marinated artichoke
which I just love. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
And marinated, good.
Sun-dried tomatoes right there.
Love these too. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, and then, Pignoli nuts at the end.
Okay.
And then a little prosciutto.
Now, what kind of prosciutto do you use?
That's the Parma prosciutto.
Beautiful.
It's the only prosciutto to use. But
And then
we have a little fresh spinach to give it that salad-like.
And that goes in whole like that, the baby spinach?
Yes, that can go in whole just like that because the warm pasta is actually going to cook this. It's so delicate.
There you go. Okay, I
But
understand.
you see, like if you can get a shot of this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just
Right
the colors alone, you might just want to eat that by itself.
Yeah, that's
don't forget the Kalamata olives.
And these are pitted Kalamata olives.
Right.
And they're available pretty much everywhere now, right?
Yes, they are. And if you can't find them pitted, I bought a cherry pitter. So, you could pit them with a cherry pitter if you can't find them pitted. Because commercially, we have them pitted, but I haven't seen them in the markets too much.
I can see them. I see them sometimes at my Stop and Shop, actually. They sometimes have them up there. But it's hard to find, though. You're right.
So, and then we're going to dress this with balsamic, olive oil, and garlic.
Now, did you make that yourself, or this is prepared? No.
No, I made that myself, and we're going to dress that, yes.
Okay, so we just pour it in?
Well, you know what? We'll put the pasta in, and then we'll toss it, and then we're going to plate
I get it. That's
Then we're
wonderful.
going to put a little shaved Ricotta Salad.
Oh, yeah.
And a little garnish at the end of a little baby arugula and some red Belgian endive.
Now, do you cook like this at home, Roland, or what?
Yes, my wife and I do when I get home in time. That's what working for a manufacturer right now. It's I'm able to get home early now. It's not like when I was a chef. I was in the restaurant working late at night and all.
All right, so we got the water is boiling like crazy here, which is great.
So what we're going to do, we have this nice little basket, which, you can get these at home, too. A place like Restaurant Depot or Restaurant Supply.
Yeah.
And they're great for cooking pasta at home rather than dumping it in, in a colander all the time.
Now, how do you know
this
how
is a lot
long?
safer at home even.
How do you know how long to cook it, though?
Well, this I just pre-cooked for us, but fresh pasta is 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5, okay.
Yes, it's much faster than dried pasta.
Okay. So in it goes. And now you talked about ricotta salata. Which,
Yes.
Now, what is that?
Well, literally, that is like the Italian feta cheese. It's sheep milk cheese from Sicily. And salata, ricotta, meaning not really a true ricotta. It's more like a harder cheese.
Yeah.
But salata, salt, so it's got a little saltiness like feta.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love
So just
that
a little
too.
shave on top. We don't want to do too much.
Fantastic. What about in the parish? Like, I know you know all your priests in the parish. You know them really, really well.
Yes, we got a great parish.
You ever cook for those guys or what?
Not yet. But
No?
they'll probably be after me.
After this, you're dead now, Roland.
But Father Sean and Father Joe, our pastor, and Father Joe DeGracco, who's a friend of yours, pinch hits on the weekends a lot.
That's great.
We had Father Simon come back from Sri Lanka, who retired, but he seems like he's back.
He's helping out.
Retired.
Now, what are we doing? The pasta has been heated through, actually, and just a little bit
You
of cooking.
see how it holds up now? Because I did even pre-cook this. And see how nice that doesn't break and all? And you want to shake it off real well.
Now, is that because of the flour, again, that
the semolina, yes.
right? That helps.
Because you want it to be firm, fresh pasta.
Now,
we'll put that in there, and then we want to dress this, Father.
So that
we'll
goes
just
in.
put a little bit of this.
Wow.
And then if you could toss that around.
Sure. Now you toss it with the spoons here, right?
Just go with the 2 spoons, and then we'll use the tongs.
This is kind of just like home. I mean, anybody could do this. This is not some fancy, impossible thing,
No.
Can
you see it's like a warm salad,
though? I'm finally at home here, Sometimes we'll cook and stuff and say, oh, yeah, I really love this. But this I really love. I can just sense this is delicious.
Yeah, something a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even eat this cold tomorrow if you had it left over.
Or right after
this
the
is
show.
a little fresh basil.
One of the best things God ever did, I think,
We're going to just tear that, or, you could chiffonade that, cut it with a knife thin. But, that's okay. So we'll give that, you can toss it like that.
Sure, and then you can see the spinach is cooking too, right?
Yeah, see the pasta, the warm pasta is actually cooking that spinach.
Wow, that's amazing.
You want to get some of these nice ingredients, and then you just want to.
Now, what about growing up, Roland? Did your mom cook? I mean, how did that work at home?
Yeah, Mom always cooked.
And did you have a big Sunday like most
traditional,
families? Yeah.
It was the macaroni on, we call it pasta now, but it's macaroni,
My family,
back
we
then.
still do that. And I think that's an important thing, right? I mean, connecting the whole thing is just an important reality, right?
Absolutely, because, in the United States, sometimes I feel like we're getting away from that too much.
Yeah.
And you really should try to sit down with your family and have those meals. That's when you talk and communicate.
Right.
We say grace before meals, and, that's a time when we all could talk about our day a little bit. Usually my girls, I have 2 daughters, and my wife, I don't do much talking.
No, it's a lot of listening, right?
Now, it's a lot of listening.
What about, your involvement with, you do a lot of great charity work, too, right?
Yes, I do Island Harvest. That's usually around the beginning of November to feed Long Island hunger. And then recently the Morgan Center, which is a school in Plainview.
Oh, yeah, sure.
For little children with cancer.
We've had them
do
on
that
a number of
event.
times, yeah.
Yeah, Nancy and Rod Zuck.
Yes,
great thing. And then the Evening of Good Taste with Steve Bello.
Wow.
He's with us in the American Culinary Federation for the South Nassau Hospital.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And South Nassau Hospital is growing like crazy,
Of course.
due to this benefit that we do.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So it's nice to give back.
I'm really excited about this. We're going to take a little break, and believe it or not, Chef Roland Iadanza is going to even get things going with another great recipe for us. So don't go anywhere. We got plenty more real food to come. Welcome back. I'm here with Chef Roland Iadanza from Grady's Pasta Works in Lindenhurst. And before the break, you made this wonderful salad, which is this pasta salad, which is fresh, and it's finished off right in front of us here, and I can't wait to dive headfirst into that, but we'll have to wait a second. And now our second dish, what are you going to be making?
Well, we're doing a pasta carbonara, but not the traditional one. Pasta carbonara, real traditional, it doesn't even involve any heavy cream.
No.
It's a bacon and egg sauce. It's made right to order, but in our industry today, when you're working in kitchens, we are, need to make like a base sauce so we can move quickly. We're serving hundreds of people.
Sure.
So this is like, I guess I can call it the Americanized version of carbonara, but it's very good and very simple for people to make at home.
Good, that's great. Well, let's get busy. Let's get going.
So right here I have the bacon, which, I kind of half cooked because we're on TV here.
Sure.
So we're going to render that down. We'll get that going.
Yeah, the flame's going, so it'll...
Yeah, it'll go. So we'll just break that up here a little bit.
Now, also, Roland, your company, you supply, some pretty big restaurants, like Chow Baby here on, right on Long Island.
Just opened up the third one now.
And then also Carmine's in the city?
Yes. Carmine's takes all the square cheese ravioli. Very good place also.
Really? I've had that there, and it's really fantastic. They serve everything family style,
Right, yeah. Oh, it's very busy. The one on 44th Street you can hardly get into. Usually when you go to a play, you go to that place.
Right.
Because it's a nice location. Then they open one in Atlantic City that we send the truck down every 3 weeks with a
big load of... Does ravioli hold up if you freeze it? Is that okay? Or what?
Yes. A lot of times in the supermarket, you do see it fresh, and people prefer it that way. But we flash freeze it, so it holds up really nice. It's all about using a good, ricotta.
Yeah.
We use the Sorrento Red Label ricotta. It's very thick, like cream cheese.
Right.
It's not like the wet ricotta you see in the stores. So...
Oh, that bacon came down fast.
Yeah, right here. So, like I said, I tried to gear these recipes so you can make them at home. But this is like a Saturday night item that you'd serve as an appetizer. It's very rich.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe just as a first course, you'd want to have this, and you can make the sauce ahead. And when people come, just drop your pasta, toss it with the sauce, like you'll see.
And if you're on Weight Watchers, it's like a zillion points. But it's delicious.
This is something that you diet all week, and then you have this on the weekend.
You have a little splurge. Now you have some.
Okay, now we have a Spanish onion. It's 1 Spanish onion for 1 pound of bacon. Okay, and then we have about 6 cloves of garlic here.
Now, talk a little bit more about your own faith playing a role in your cooking, Roland, because, again, like being involved in charity, gathering the kids and the family around the table, you worship regularly at Christ the King. It all fits together in your mind? Or?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I get out of bed every day, and I just say, how can I help somebody?
Wow.
How can I help someone today? Being with the American Culinary Federation, I chair the job placement.
Wow.
So I help people find jobs, and that is such a great rewarding experience when you get someone a job and they're looking, in the culinary institute, food service business rather. It's very difficult sometimes to find work.
Sure.
And the owners are looking for good help, and it's very thin on help right now on Long Island. The labor pool is very tight.
So you bring people to a new moment. Now that's a roasted garlic? No, that's just
well, I sauteed it
got it going.
A little bit ahead of time. But normally you would cook the bacon halfway and then put your diced onions in, let that go a couple of minutes, and then the garlic, because the garlic cooks the quickest. So you want to put that in toward the
And
end.
it's almost an unfair smell, I have to tell you, because
Yes.
it's just unbelievable. My mouth is
What I'm going to
watering.
have you do is just what we call chiffonade some basil.
Okay.
Okay, and what we're going to do, if
I'll
you have,
take
you
some.
grab your knife, just like take some leaves.
Yep.
And put it together.
You stack
the
them
best
up a
you
little
can.
bit?
Yeah, you've done it before, I guess. It sounds like.
Well, I've done a lot of eating, so I've learned a lot about the other part of
Well,
it.
this is a nice item because you don't want to crush it. So
And
what
you
you
roll
do
it up.
is you want to just slice it. So you have your knife here and just kind of like gently rock it. I'm letting the knife do all the work here. You know, I'm just letting the blade do it. And see how nice you have it?
Boy, that looks nice.
So nice thin, in French, chiffonade means little rags, like ripped rags. So
And-
that's what you have here.
How about basil? Like, I know fresh is so important, but talk to me about freezing it, because I sometimes freeze my basil. Is
Yeah,
that
I'm
all
not a
right?
fan of that. You know,
No.
it gets black and all. It's available so easy in the markets now. So, you
I
know,
have
you could really pick it up and.
And even in the winter, you can, I have a tough time sometimes.
Yeah, well, in the winter, sometimes you can't find it, but you can also season with pesto, too. And
Yes,
they make
yes,
pestos
yes.
without the nuts, because nuts are a big thing with allergies today. So, like, if you have a little pesto, it's nice and green, it stays nice. So here we added the heavy cream.
Now, that's just heavy cream that you had there, or what?
Yes. Now, heavy cream, when it boils down, we use these fancy words, reduce.
Right,
What does
right.
that mean sometimes?
Yeah.
Boil down. That's all it means. People can't get that sometimes. But when you reduce or boil down heavy cream, it naturally thickens, you know, on its own.
So
you
look at
see
that. I
how
mean,
it's, you
it's
know,
almost
coming
sauce
together?
consistency right off the
Right,
bat.
because I,
there.
you know, again, I did reduce it down a little bit ahead of time.
Now,
Okay, now that's gonna come
carbonara,
to a
like,
nice
what
boil.
part of Italy is that from? Do you know? Is it northern?
Yeah, yes, northern. All cream sauces are from the north because they had money. You know, down south they use the tomatoes and the cheaper items.
The stuff
so
that they can find.
It's definitely a northern town.
So this is northern Italian dish.
Right, you'll find this in northern Italian restaurants. Most of the time, it used to be made tableside,
Really?
which is very nice. But they got away from that now. I
Because-
used to love tableside cooking, but you never see it that much.
Well, I guess because you have to prepare so many meals, right? Like to go ahead, you have to have this already way ahead of
yes,
time, right?
and you know what it is? They need to put more chairs in so they can do more business. There's no room to wheel that guéridon, the cart.
Oh, right, with the,
So
with
like,
the burner
you know,
and all that
heck
stuff.
with the table side, I need more business, so
Yeah.
they put more chairs in. But
What-
also, I brought some rosemary sage salt. I want you to just smell that
Oh,
from
that's
Italy.
wonderful. Now,
We
what is
import
that?
that from Italy, and this is a rosemary sage sea salt.
So
a little
how do they
sprinkle goes
flavor
in
that?
it.
Like, how does that happen?
Well, this is, you know, they dry rosemary and sage.
And they put it out with the
Right,
sea
and then they
salt?
crumble it, and then they mix it with the sea salt. But
Wow.
I use that on roasted potatoes, a little pinch in a salad.
Yeah.
It's very good.
That is beautiful.
And it has,
beautiful.
you know, the aroma, and it's all natural.
Yeah,
Sea
yeah.
salt, you know, even diffuses in your body a little bit better.
That's what they say, right? It's
Yeah.
better for you, ultimately. That's amazing. That's a great,
So-
great.
But
what
see
about
how
when-
this is coming? See, now,
Now, will the kids eat this, Roland, when you're home?
oh, are you kidding? The
They
kids
do?
love this.
Yeah, they do, really?
But see, when you start to get those shiny bubbles, that's when you know it's reduced enough. It's getting thicker.
It's just starting to happen.
See
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
I have friends of mine, Gary and Terry, that we go over their house and make carbonara, and we go in their spa, you know, the whirlpool thing.
Oh, yeah, sure,
And
sure.
we call it spa-bonara. You know, that's like every once a month we have to do that. But,
I'm surprised that your kids will eat all of this, but they do, huh?
oh, yeah. My daughter at 2 years old, what do you want for your birthday party? What do you want to eat? Salmon, she says. You know, it's a chef's daughter. What can I
That's
tell you?
great. That's wonderful.
So again, I have this, you know, nice basket. And again, you know, what's nice about this, and you can get these at home, is that instead of taking this to the sink and dumping the water, that's dangerous. The water could burn you and
Yeah,
all.
and
So
often
you
does.
leave the water on the stove and you just drain it and you're up.
Now, what's the kind of pasta that you
This is
put?
fresh rigatoni that we're doing.
And you make that rigatoni, huh?
Yes, all that pasta people. We make it in tomato and spinach. Sometimes we do tricolor.
Really?
So
this is
this is very nice.
fascinating.
So see how
Oh, now
those
you can
bubbles
see
are
the
getting
bubbles.
shiny?
Yeah, I've just
That's when you
noticing.
know it's ready. And you smell that aroma.
Oh, my Lord. It's
You know, good
unbelievable.
old American bacon, 1 onion, 6 cloves of garlic, 1/4 heavy cream. It's a lot of ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're going to toss it with some nice Pecorino Romano.
Wow, that
At
sounds
the end,
amazing.
okay? And some milled black pepper.
Yeah.
You see this little pepper mill?
That's a cool thing,
You know,
too.
you just open up that door, you put your peppercorns in, and you crank it.
Oh, and it gets it all going, really, yeah? How about a good story? You have a funny story, like from all your years in the restaurant
Funny
business?
story.
Something that
I worked
happened?
in Great Neck for 11 years.
Tell us an angle. What's
Let's see. What could be one of the
well,
funny stories?
did you ever wreck something? I mean, you're cooking something?
Oh
so-
yeah, well, you know, sometimes it wasn't that funny then, but when we opened Bruzel's in Great Neck, it was so busy. We had a waiter, a busboy actually, but he's an older man. You know, he's working hard, and he had a toupee on, and was so busy at the end of the night, like the toupee was crooked, and he was carrying the plates. You know, it's like, you know, but that's the kind of night. I mean, my head felt like it was coming off.
No
too.
toupees here, believe me.
Well, you want to put a little grated cheese on
Oh,
there,
I
nice.
love that.
See the consistency, how nice it looks and creamy.
Beautiful. Now, I just love
The staff
cheese.
here is going to go crazy. When
You know,
we have this
this show
afterwards.
always takes more people on staff than any other.
Oh, this is Pecorino Romano cheese.
Uh-huh.
And why Pecorino, not Parmesan? Parmesan's very good also.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's a little bit assertive. You know, sometimes it takes over from the flavor of
It's
the
sharper
pasta.
too than Romano,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
some people like it better. I like Pecorino. It's a little bit more neutral.
Me
and
too.
you want to mill some pepper right on
Sure.
there?
Now,
and we're going to shut this off because it's beautiful, and then we'll put it in the bowl. There you go.
Look at that. This is nice and coarse, the way I like
You know,
it,
that's
too.
where they got the idea of, oh, that's good. The idea of carbonara, because from the coal vendors, that they felt like it looked like the specks from there when they were maybe possibly making this dish.
Really, huh?
On the coal stoves, that the specks of the coal maybe looked like the black pepper. There's a little history there.
And that's how
about
that came about, really?
Well, that's
That's cool. That's a
what
good
they
story.
claim the history is.
You mind if I use that in the homily someday? I hope you don't mind. I'll give you credit.
So, all right.
Now,
and
we
then
have all
we'll
this basil. That's
yes. Well, that'll go right in at this
That's
point.
a later story,
Yep. Yep. We'll put that in right now.
Oh,
at
you
the
put it
end.
in? Okay.
Now, why fresh basil at the end? Why didn't
There
I
you go.
put that in before?
You tell me.
Okay, fresh. Now, right now, the heat of the sauce is cooking that basil. If I use dried basil, which dried basil is okay too, but if you don't have the fresh in the house, you'd put that in when you did the onions and bacon, because dried herbs need to be cooked.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Fresh herbs are very delicate.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can see. And I mean, and
So
also,
see how pretty that looks?
yeah, this has such. I was just going to say, such great color. And you're going to serve this up into a beautiful pasta bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, good news is coming. The smell of this food is driving me crazy, and it looks delicious. But before we head over to our table, we're going to take a short break, so don't move a muscle because we'll be right back with more real food. Wow, does that look nice? Welcome back to Real Food. Now for my very favorite part of the show, tasting time. Well, Roland, I can't thank you enough. Tell us about these dishes now. The first dish we made today is right here. And what was it?
Right, that's the pappardelle, which is a mixture of marinated and grilled and roasted vegetables, of Kalamata olives, roasted peppers, sun-dried tomatoes. Sort of like a warm pasta salad.
Right.
And we finish with balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and a little garlic.
And then we made...
This is fresh rigatoni carbonara.
Boy.
With bacon, a little heavy cream, onions and garlic, a little fresh basil at the end.
Well, I got the fork going right in here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the pappardelle to start.
You might want to cut that. You know, we do make that pretty long.
Yeah, that is kind of long. I tell you the truth, my knife's not here, so I'm just going to go for it.
Okay, there you go.
Wouldn't be the first time I ate a whole one. Fantastic. Wow. Now, these flowers, too, by the way, are edible, huh? I'm not going to eat one, but they're edible.
Yes, they are. Excuse me.
I'll stick away from that. That's
They have nasturtiums, all kinds of edible flowers today. You know, you decorate with them, and, you know, if people want to indulge, they can eat them also.
that pappardelle was delicious. Now I want to taste the carbonara.
Carbonara.
And this is different.
You're going to die.
This is different than anything I've had, I can tell you. I've had carbonara before, but not this.
And this is very easy to make at home. I mean, anyone I ever show this to and give them the recipe, they're always very pleased.
Unbelievable. You know, they never let me take 2 bites ever on the show. I'm going to. Wow, fantastic.
The smokiness of the bacon comes through nice, and they're
Absolutely
usually made with
delicious.
pancetta, but we used American bacon, and it works beautiful.
It's really beautiful. Roland, I can't thank you enough for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure.
You're a good friend,
Anytime.
man. I got a new friend in you.
Yeah,
I love
that's
this.
right.
This is fantastic. Listen, we have a tradition here on the show.
Sure.
We ask everybody to shine our real food chef's jacket. So if you
Oh,
would
be
give
my
me the honor
pleasure.
of doing that. You know, when I was a little boy, my grandmother passed away. And I remember getting her wooden spoon. And I really wanted her wooden spoon. And I didn't know why. I was 7 years old, and that's what I got. And I realized much later on in my life that the reason I wanted Nana's wooden spoon was because every Sunday we went to her house. And my grandmother was around the stove, stirring the pot every single week with that wooden spoon and telling me the stories of our family. Telling me how excited my mother was when my father asked her to marry him. Telling me what it was like when they came over on the boat. And what it was like very early on when my grandmother and grandfather got married. It's family and friends around the table that are those wooden spoon moments. We need the wooden spoons of our life. We need to listen to one another's family heritage. Just like Roland gathers with his family around the table, we need to gather with ours, because that's where we're going to find our God. That's where we're going to recognize that Jesus is with us. As I said before, to enjoy more of these delicious recipes, you can visit pastapeople.com. And to learn more about the recipes we featured today on Real Food, you can visit our own website at telecaretv.org. Just click on the Real Food section and off you go. We're out of time, but remember, every time we gather with family, friends, or strangers, our God is with us. As it says in the Scriptures, my flesh is real food, my blood is real drink. We'll see you next time on Real Food.
The preceding program was brought to you by Catholic Book Publishing, family-owned and operated since 1911, continuing an over 90-year tradition as a leading publisher of